Welcome back. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. As always, if you've got a real estate question, give us a call, 281-882-8088, and we'll be happy to answer your real estate questions every week between 11 and noon. 281-882-8088. And if you miss any of today's show, you can always catch us online at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com, where we video record all the segments and put them online for you. So you can go back and watch archive shows as well. We have lots of shows from over the years that we've done. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the Woodlands. We know the Woodlands has grown so much over the last few years, and home prices have even been going up. And there's been so much development that there's not even that much room to develop anymore. I want to talk with Nelda Blair. She is an attorney, a real estate attorney in the Woodlands. And she's been very busy. I'm looking here at your bio, Nelda, and it's just crazy how much stuff you've been involved in.
Oh, it's a great place to be involved, though, from Montgomery County.
So you've done a lot of leadership stuff. You were part of, you were chairman of the Woodlands Township, and you helped found the Woodlands Township as well, right? You were up there for 8 years working hard.
Yep, on the CVB and the township.
And then you helped found, you also have been named one of Houston's 50 most influential women in 2009 by Houston Women Magazine.
That was quite an honor.
I bet that was fun.
It was.
So I know you've been really busy, and you do a lot of stuff with your own firm, a company that you own in the Woodlands, but you're very involved in the Woodlands and the development and what's going on over the years. And you've always lived in the Woodlands?
I've always lived in Montgomery County.
Okay.
I was there long before the Woodlands was. Remember, the Woodlands only 40, and I'm slightly older than that.
So you moved into the Woodlands before it was really developed and built out in the beginning?
Actually, I lived in South County, which is what we call that area, in 1968, and the Woodlands wasn't developed until the early 70s, the beginning. So
was that like Shenandoah area?
I lived it wasn't in Shenandoah, but in that area, yes, exactly. Okay. And then the Woodlands, I've lived there for about 25 years.
Okay, all right. So you've raised a family there and had a business there. And so I want to talk a little bit about the Woodlands, because when we think of the Woodlands nowadays as a realtor, we kind of think of resale because so much of it is built out. There's not a whole lot of new development. There's a little bit, but not a whole lot of new development. So a lot of it's resale, and a lot of those resale properties are now getting to the age where they need a lot of renovations. There's a lot of work to be done in the Woodlands.
True.
What is your perspective of the Woodlands? Do you see it that way, or do you still see it as just bringing in new companies? Because there are still a lot of businesses coming in there.
Yeah, that's interesting you would say, because really it's both. And the refurbishment you're talking about is some of the older areas. Particularly, there's 8 villages, you may know, in the Woodlands, and the oldest one is the village of Grogan's Mill, which is kind of the southeast side of the Woodlands. And there's a lot of refurbishment going on there. I mean, my own church, First Baptist, which is the first church in the Woodlands, just underwent a huge construction project. And the homes are the same way. People are buying older homes that are maybe 30 years old and totally refurbishing them or tearing them down and building new ones. However, there's also still a construction. A village of Creekside Park is our newest village. It's still got homes going up, lots that are kind of located, various single lots. Developers are buying up and building homes, and we've still got companies moving in.
Yeah. Well, the biggest, I know you just finished up Anadarko. That was a big undertaking. It was a huge one.
Yes, another tower.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, Exxon, although they're located, their big campus is just outside the Woodlands, just south, they actually have a headquarter building in the Woodlands in Hughes Landing.
Okay. In Hughes Landing. So tell us about Hughes Landing.
Hughes Landing is probably one of the most exciting under construction concepts right now. Hughes Landing is in what we call Town Center, which is right there on the freeway, the main portion, commercial portion of the Woodlands. It sits on Lake Woodlands, and it's not only quite a bit of residential, large part multifamily residential, but it's also a huge entertainment area and office building area. So several very, very large office buildings, several big companies already there. Whole Foods, though, is going in, a couple of restaurants, an Embassy Suites. It's going to be a wonderful place for residents as well.
That's exciting. There's so much retail in the Woodlands, and there's still a lot of retail moving in as well.
Definitely. Not only does Market Street, for example, have retail come in and out, different, they upgrade basically their tenants. But then again, places like Hughes Landing and the Village Center in Creekside Park and all over the Woodlands, there are still companies that are coming in and building buildings or starting building anew.
The trolley system is still a free system offered in the Woodlands. Do you think that there will ever be a charge for that, or will that always be offered free?
I do not think there will ever be a charge. Okay. It's something that I think the Woodlands will absorb. Actually, the Woodlands Township Board is currently looking at expanding that trolley service because it's very popular right now.
It is, yeah.
It's just in the commercial centers.
Yeah. So would it actually expand into the villages if that happens?
That's a concept. We've been talking about that for quite a while. It's a little more difficult to do than it is to say because there's a lot of bits and pieces. But I think that there's a potential for that.
The water taxis on the lake there, how well do they do? They do charge.
The water taxis do charge. That's correct. And they are a mode of transportation, a lot slower mode of transportation around town center, but they offer a view of the whole commercial area there that's totally different from any other view you can get. So they're still quite popular, especially on holidays.
Let's talk about how the Woodlands has changed from the time that you moved in and to where it is today. It's gone through a lot of transformation.
It has. I actually give a couple of talks, mostly to real estate audiences, that shows a slide of Woodlands Parkway when it was basically cut, and then a slide of it now, and it's amazing the difference. Also, an aerial view of where the pavilion was supposed to be and where the pavilion, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, is now. Now the number 2 outdoor amphitheater in the world.
Wow.
It's amazing the difference. I mean, if you were to be gone for 10 years or 20 years and come back, I don't think you'd recognize the place.
Wow. Where do you see the Woodlands 10 years from now? Where do you think it's going?
Well, as you stated in your opening, it's approaching build-out. It's not quite there yet, but it is approaching build-out. It's a specific number of acres. It's landlocked on all sides, and so there's not unlimited potential for growth. I think in 10 years, the Woodlands will still be even more people, but not as much expansion as it has been because, of course, we'll be out of room. But you know what? We continue to try to build roads. We have a road bond in May that we're trying to pass to keep up with infrastructure and, make everybody still feel comfortable.
Let's talk about some of the other projects going on in the Woodlands. I know they're renovating some of the large convention centers.
Yes, that's right. The Woodlands Conference Center, the original, underwent a beautiful renovation. I was just there last night viewing some of their new areas, and it's just fabulous. It's just wonderful. They've got a new steakhouse that is now my own local personal steakhouse, I'd like to say. It's also great. By the way, it's called Robards, and it happens to be the middle name of Howard Hughes. Howard R. Hughes. Robards is his middle name. That's why it's called that, which I thought was kind of cute. They own the Woodlands Development Company. And then where the Marriott is, which is our major conference center, it's also kind of reached the age where it's ready for some redo. And it's had some room renovations already. They are absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, we've got a Westin going in right there on the waterway, and that's going to be brand new. So
very good. Do you think that the school district will ever change? I mean, right now you guys are Conroe ISD. Do you think there will ever be a Woodland school district?
No, the school district changes would have to be at the state level. I don't think that will happen. I would, of course, never say never, but the Woodlands actually has Conroe ISD. Part of it also has Magnolia ISD, and Creekside goes to Tomball ISD. So, we're one big happy family. A lot of partnerships and a lot of cooperatives. That's how we work.
Yeah, and there's a lot of private schools in the Woodlands as well.
Many private schools, fine private schools. And actually, they work very closely with the school districts as well.
So I know all the commercial development that comes in helps contribute to the tax base
Absolutely.
for the Woodlands. And so especially bringing in these large companies really helps with the tax basis.
It does.
You just can't get off of property taxes. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, I'll say that is really the secret of how the Woodlands works. We bring in enough big companies that produce property taxes and enough commercial, ventures, dining, entertainment, restaurants that produce sales taxes. Over half of the township budget is sales and hotel tax. Over half. Wow. That reduces the residents' property taxes.
So would you say that of the new master plan communities that are coming in, being developed nationwide, do you think that more of them are going to have more conference and convention centers and more restaurants and developments in them because it's worked so well for the Woodlands?
Absolutely. I think we're a model.
Yeah. I do too. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in talking about the Woodlands. I know that you've had a great history there and love that community. Lots to talk about there. And it's exciting. It's exciting that it's almost grown out and we can see it and use it as a model nationwide, but yet there's still a lot of potential for growth in other areas. So it's very exciting.
Thank you. Come see us.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Nelda Blair. Lots of information coming to you from Nelda. She's the founder of the Blair Law Firm in the Woodlands. You can see all of the show. If you missed any of it, you can catch it online at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com. We'll be right back.